We are Team Hydroponics. My name's Neil Frings, and I'll be giving some background and a little introduction into our project. So, when we were researching different areas that could provide an opportunity for an engineering project, we came across the Altiplano Plateau area of South America. This area is located in the Andes mountain range, and it's one of the largest high plateau areas in the world. It's located primarily in Bolivia, as you can see on the map on the slide, but it also stretches into other countries like Peru and Argentina. So largely due to the high elevation, the climate in the Altiplano is pretty harsh. There's very little rainfall throughout the year, and temperatures are normally pretty low, with the temperature dropping below freezing during the night commonly. And due to this, farming has proven to be pretty difficult for the people in this area. Agriculture is really only feasible for 4 or 5 months out of the year, and this is a large factor of the economic problems that are seen there. Out of the 10.5 million people that do live in the Altiplano, over 3/4 of them live on less than $1.50 a day. And additionally, over 95% of the families in the area live in extreme poverty. So this is an opportunity for an engineering design to come in and increase agricultural output in the area in order to hopefully improve the economic standing of some of these people. So how our team approached this problem was through the design of a hydroponic farming system. This system would hopefully improve agricultural efficiency in each area. And by insulating crops from the weather, it would also make farming more feasible for a much larger portion of the year. So we hope that through the implementation of our design, we would be able to improve the quality of life of a lot of the people in the Altiplano. So now our next member will go a little into our design process.
Hello, my name is Ben Henry, and I'll be speaking about the methodology behind our decision-making process. Throughout the entire course, we have been following the engineering design process to help us solve issues and resolve dilemmas that we've run into. The first crossroad that we ran into was which specific type of hydroponic system we wanted to utilize. So after researching the different types of systems, including deep water culture, nutrient film, aeroponics, wicking, ebb and flow, and drip, we did some brainstorming. And we decided that as a team, the best fit for a hydroponic system would be one which used the nutrient film technique. And for this method, the plants would sit in baskets filled with an inner medium such as clay, so that the roots of the plants can access the nutrients in the water that is circulating through the system. And so the next step in the engineering design process was for us to come up with a design which would be most efficient and could be used in this region of Bolivia that we have previously mentioned. So for this process, we were able to use SolidWorks and create a model of the prototype. And the first draft of our computer animated design had a few issues related to scale and functionality. And again, we were able to reference the engineering design process, and the second layout of our prototype was a much better representation of the vision of Team Hydroponics. Now, the next member of our Team Hydroponics is going to further discuss what we're able to accomplish after the midterm.
Thanks, Ben. My name is Justin, and we'll be talking today about what our team accomplished following the midterm report. Prior to the midterm report, as Neil and Ben were talking about, we had a lot of background information on the area, the climate, a lot of cultural influences, and as well as a general idea of the design that we wanted to use. I was the team member for week 4 immediately after the midterm, and I wanted to really focus on this aspect of the project. Really getting the design down and figuring out exactly what we needed for materials. So I took a quick trip to Home Depot to see what materials we had to work with, and I reported this back to the team. This is about the time when me and Ben started working on the model in SolidWorks and started working out some of the design issues that we discussed. We were able to determine the exact parts from the completed design of the model. And from that design, we made a list of materials that we sent over to Mandy so that she could order those for us. Once we received those materials, we did a quick inventory and a layout of what we had to make sure that we had all the necessary materials before we started cutting anything. From here, we were able to actually assemble the full working system, and it took about 4 or 5 hours all in one day. Once we had the system up, and because we didn't use any electrical components, we were able to test it right where we designed it with the hand pump. We took a video and we actually uploaded it to YouTube and posted that link in the report itself, so you can go take a look at that there. Alongside the construction of the actual prototype, we were also building the written report. And because our team is located in all kinds of different places around the world, it wasn't feasible for all of us to work on the actual construction. So we used different team members for different responsibilities of the project. The ones that were local to State College had more emphasis on building the actual project, the product, and then ones that were outside of State College actually worked on the written write-up. Neil did a great job spearheading that effort for our team, and utilizing each team member in this way was actually very effective because it allowed each person to work on their different responsibilities without having to worry about other team members kind of stepping on over them in order to accomplish the same task. This was very effective, and it's not to say that we didn't contribute to one another, but I think it really complemented each other very well, and it led to a very successful completion of the project. And so now I'll hand you over to Morgan, who will talk about the final project's outcome.
Hi, my name is Morgan, and I will be talking about how our final project will be in the future. After a lot of research and challenges faced and obstacles overcome as a team, we have committed the time in the class to creating a sustainable hydroponic system for the Alta Plano Plateau. As previously mentioned, we used the engineering design process to develop a system which would best fit the region of the plateau. Things such as the manual hand pump, which aided in the fact that there was no source of power, or that we had to cut the size to maintain the financial feasibility of our project on the plateau. We have thought about the future plans for our system, and we believe that before expanding our system, we would need to make small improvements. One main difference would be replacing the hand pump with a manual or automatic pump. We also have thought about adding a climate control system to make it more adaptable to different climates. Both of these changes would increase the crop yield and require a power source, and also an increase in capital. Another improvement would be the solar panels. They would be a more expensive option. However, it would increase renewable energy and cut down costs in the long run. The biggest factor in deciding where to implement these improvements would be location. We wouldn't use an automatic hand pump in places where there's no power source, and we certainly wouldn't use solar panels in places that there wasn't any sun. Certain decisions about the system would have to depend on where in the region we were placing it. Improvements to this hydroponic system over time will aid in expanding to provide crops to different regions across the globe. We have learned how to implement changes and improvements efficiently through the help of this class, and the next teammate will be discussing what we have learned and how it has aided in the completion of our project.
So this class, guys, has been a learning experience for all of us. We learned a lot in terms of individually and as a team. First of all, individually, we did many tests that gave us our personality types and our strengths and some weaknesses that we have. And we were able to share them with our teammates so they can help us and give us feedback and give us tasks accordingly. In addition to that, we also in our team base, as we shared these communication with all of them, our communication at the beginning was a bit off. As Justin mentioned, we were in different parts of the world, and it was very hard at the beginning. So always the flow of information wasn't always going correctly, and tasks weren't divided properly. But as the semester went through, and as we progressed through the semester, things went easier, and our communication became much smoother using the GroupMe and sometimes regular Skype calls to talk to each other about the update of the project and many different things regarding it. The most important part of being a leader, though, inside this project and this course in general, was when we had 2 weeks and demonstrated to become a leader in these 2 weeks. It really helped us like improve our teamwork and like help us give our other teammates other tasks according to their strengths and weaknesses that they have given to us earlier. And this also tested our mentality and how we became leaders, as our ability to give them the tasks that they can do properly and are able to do them with ease. In addition, in like opposed as giving them something they're not really good at or something they're not really like have an experience with. This gave us a test to make sure all the teammates get something they're really good at and progress and do it properly. So the end goal of the project is really good, and the final prototype goes to plan. So this course has been very strong in terms of teaching us how to become really effective leaders and really understand our personality in a different way. As in general, I really personally, before this class, I really didn't know like what my personality looked like and what it can be really described with, but it has really boosted some of my abilities, and I'm really going to work on them, some of my weaknesses, able to improve for the future. Thank you. Team Hydroponics.